going ahead with our discussion, I want all of you to quickly answer this question for me, that are you guys happy? What is your current state of mind? And I heard this lovely joke.
Happy, ma'am.
You are happy, yeah? So I heard this lovely joke. Somebody said, "Can you please spell happiness for me?" And the other person said, "It's UNMARRIED." So my big guess is that all of you are unmarried and happy, therefore. Yeah. So if you're happy, and I'm happy to hear that, Anushka says ha ha ha. Yeah, I'd love to hear your responses, guys, because I've been used to classroom sessions all my 17 years of career, and it's pretty unfortunate that COVID has got us across the screen only, because it's always nice and bright to see people in person. So please keep jumping in, sharing your thoughts, or at least commenting on the chat box. It'll be wonderful to hear. Uh, my second question to you is that why are you happy? If you're having a good day, if you're happy already, uh, can you take a minute and think about why exactly you're happy? What is it that's really making you happy? Your state of mind, okay? I'd love to see your responses in the chat box, please. Okay, some of you can share your thoughts. And my last question is, I am happy today because I'm able to complete my work for today. Okay. How we contemplate things lead us into a belief. Optimism say health. Rashi says having no stress today. Bhumika is happy because she has no stress. Good to hear that, Bhumika. So that takes me to the next question, which is, would you want to be happy tomorrow? Do you want to have a good day tomorrow? I think that's the easiest question. Cheat question. Yeah. So yeah, okay. Everyone spontaneously says, of course. Lakshita's yes. Kushi, yes. Rashi says everyone wants to have a happy day every day. That's an easy one, isn't it? Good, great. I need you to stick on to that thought as to what makes you happy, and why are you happy if you're happy today? These are some questions that will allow you to create a better understanding of your relationship and understand happiness per se. And that's one of the primary objectives of our discussion today. Yeah, we'll also do a little more self discovery towards the latter half, but that's primarily going to be our focus, to understand happiness and our relationship with it, because it's commonly misunderstood. I see a lot of people confusing it with joy and pleasure. So we'll clarify that also as we move forward. Okay. So would do we always need to have a reason to be happy? Sonia's asking me a question. uh, yeah, we'll answer some of those questions as we move forward, Sonia. uh, this is what is something that is happening today in the corporate world, because I belong to that corporate world and I've recently started off on my own. I can share for sure that if a woman is unhappy and empowered, she will only be a boss. If she's happy and empowered, she will be a leader, somebody who can actually uplift the other women and build more conviction and courage in them to come forward. And that's truly uplifting in every way possible. So when we spoke of women leadership also briefly, Manika said that, ma'am, if you can highlight these aspects. I think another very crucial pillar which we're missing out today in the corporate world is the element of happiness again. So that brings out more contextual relevance of talking about it, or at least understanding this concept for ourselves as students. Yes or no? Say yes, absolutely. if
Yes,
you
ma'am.
if you agree, I'd like to hear some noise
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
Yeah, say yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
Yeah, great,
Absolutely.
Bhumika. Good to hear, Devanshi. Come on, everyone. Let's say yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
We all
Yes,
want to be.
absolutely, ma'am.
We all want to be there, yeah. And we also want to be happy, empowered leaders. don't we? It's pretty great, when I read HBR review or a survey recently, they clearly highlighted women to be better off when it comes to leadership skills. And if you're watching the news regularly, Jacinda Ardern's New York's residence example is one such classic example that shows, if you're a happy person, you can be equally compassionate, you can be extremely strong and decisive as well. So those are some highlights for women leaders for sure. It's also wonderful to see that women tend to fare out better on 12 competencies out of 16 competencies when it comes to leadership. And to my surprise, and I'm sure you'll be surprised too, the top two competencies were, what the two top competencies are? It's about taking initiatives and driving results. It's pretty sad that women tend to get stereotyped for being only soft or emotional, but we're actually equally capable to uplift other people and pull up the results as well. So those are some, I think, traits and attributes that are getting acknowledged now because of the COVID era. People have started taking notice of it, and we see more women appointed at leadership positions across the world. So that's empowerment for us. Haath upar karo, everybody, and do a thapi to yourself and say, Shabash, we are getting there. Can everyone do that, please? Hands up in the air like that, and pat yourself and say, Shabash, we're getting there. Yeah, good, good. We're all getting there. You'll have to keep doing this for yourself. This is something that I've practiced, and I think most of my sessions and my trainees know this, that you have to do shabash to yourself, when it doesn't come from the outside world. And that's real happiness, right? Unfortunately, there are almost 50% women, as per the Gallup survey, women who are backtracking themselves or retreating from the corporate world because they feel highly pressurized, and because of more responsibility back home, they tend to take a back seat or do work on their own types. So those are some aspects where I think we need to be doubly convinced that we have it in us to be able to juggle with roles and take ourselves to the next level. So only a courageous lady with confidence, conviction, can truly be empowered, for which you ought to be a happy woman first, right? So with that, I'd like all of you to also think about a moment in your life when you were supremely happy. Just think about any moment in your life when you were supremely happy. And if you can share, anyone can share, what made you happy? I'm waiting. Anything that made you happy, can somebody share? Yes, Anushka?
Ma'am, it's like I was in my class 12th, and one such day came when my investiture was there. And on the same day, I got the news that I became the head girl. And for me, my identity was something which means a lot to me, and it still is something. So, coming forward from all the obstacles and fighting for what I want and getting it makes me the happiest. So,
Wow.
that's an incident which I would like to share.
Let's clap for Anushka for sharing that with us. And
Thank you.
that's such a wonderful example you've shared. When you strive for something, and you make it happen, something that's been an aspiration for you, and you get there, that can make you truly happy. Let's go back to our first few set of questions. Remember, the second question was why you're happy today? Just go back to that thought, why you're happy today, and think about things that make you happy on a regular basis. Can you jot down some of those thoughts for yourself, please? Take 2 minutes and jot down some of the thoughts as to what makes you happy. Yeah. Anyone else who thinks he or she would like to share? Since we have all the women here. Anybody? Anyone else who'd like to share?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, my happiness is related to my work. If I'm able to do that, like if I schedule some work for today and I'm able to achieve that, this will be my biggest happiness. Similarly, when I was in 12th or in my graduation, I
Mm-hmm.
achieved first rank in school. That will be my achievement and that will be my happiness.
Superb, yeah, Vanshika. You guys are making me so proud of you now. Apparently, I did have a discussion with a couple of millennials, and what I heard from them was more like if I get a mobile, the latest one, or if I'm able to get the best job possible tomorrow, or maybe a highest salary. Those are things that are my aspirations, and that's something that's going to make me happy. So I'm glad to hear such responses. Those are some matured and very balanced answers, Anushka and Vanshika. I'm extremely happy to hear these answers. This is really a reflection point for all of us. If you think about your life in general, at this stage of your life, what are things that are making you happy? And think about how many of those factors are internal to you and how many factors are external to you. So is it more about getting things? Is it more about accolades? It's more about possession, or it's more about your sense of accomplishment and your strive and your challenges and that sense of achievement, like Vanchika said. So do you find yourself more towards the internal or the external? Can you share your thoughts? Anyone? You can unmute yourself and share.
Ma'am, for me, external is very little.
Hmm.
Internal matters the most. It is like for 2 days it might impact me, but the
Yeah.
third day I'll be the one driving myself.
Wow. Thank you, Rashi. Anyone else?
Even I agree with Rajshri.
Hmm. Yes, Vipasha. Anyone
Uh,
else? Yes, Vipasha, you'd like to share something else?
no, ma'am, just the same thing.
Okay.
Ma'am, I think happiness for me is both internal and external. Like
Mm-hmm.
external things are the outcomes which I get for the work I do and which make me happier. And I
Mm-hmm.
stay happier in the state of mind as it was mentioned before by someone. So it's like internal and external both for me.
Good, good. Okay.
Ma'am,
That's the truth of the
sometimes
matter, guys. Because when I was your age, I think I was also more driven by what people had to say about my achievements. Though achievements mattered, but I was also driven by what they would say about it. Whether there was validation or not, whether they were proud of me or not, whether it was my parents, my siblings, my friends, that also mattered to me a lot. So, yes, somebody wanted to share.
ma'am, sometimes happiness is our choice. If I want to happy, I will be happy. So that is something related to happiness and our choices that we made.
Well said, Vanshika. It surely is a choice, and it's a state of mind, like one of you mentioned. I'd like to hear more voices. We have 37 bright women on the panel right now. I can't see all of you though, but I want to hear from each one of you, please. Any other thoughts? Do you think there are times when we get too caught up with things that are out of our control, like this COVID time? ठीक हो जाए
Yes,
बस,
ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
वैक्सीन आ जाए बस, you know, एक बार proper party हो जाए बस. Yeah, we all are craving for things that possibly are out of our control. And that is one of the factors that leads to our unhappiness. Or let's say our mind starts to wander too much. Okay. And therefore, it's more like this floating balloon that you see. It just keeps floating around, because it's quite unstable. My happiness doesn't know where it belongs. It depends on the circumstances. It depends on the people around me. So if they're good, they're treating me well, I'm happy. If I'm getting appreciated, I'm happy. But if things don't go as I expect, then I, start getting those misery feelings, despair, sadness, don't feel, I'm fitting enough in that environment. So that's a point that I wanted to drive home for all of you sitting here today, that please make happiness more internal. Stop outsourcing it. Yeah, can we do that? And I do hear some very, very matured answers. So I'm very positive that we can all do that. And perhaps all of you are already in that state of mind. So it's something that you need to take full charge of, take happiness as your personal responsibility and stop outsourcing it to other people or to your environment, right? Be more in control of your, happiness for that matter. Uh, let's go a little further and talk about how does it truly feel to be happy? Can anyone think of
When you have
moments? Yes,
when you
yes.
have inner peace,
Uh-huh. How does
that
it truly
time,
feel? Okay,
when you have that balanced feeling, when you think that you are in control of everything that time.
very good. So it's a balanced feeling. I feel more in control. Good points. What else? Anyone else?
When we don't rely on others for our happiness, we feel complete in our own selves.
You feel complete in your own self. Excellent answer. What else? Who else? Come on, I want to hear all of you guys. Pasha, Anushka, Vanshika, Purva, Manika. Yes, I've heard them. Shreya, I can see you. Let's hear more people. How does it feel to be happy? Can you think of all moments when you were happy? Initially, I was very happy when I got a new phone, trust me, because I used to use the Nokia phone, the extremely heavy one, which would break somebody's head. And then I realized that that's not the best phone in the world. So I'm not happy
It's
about it.
about being satisfied with what we have or where we
Yeah,
are.
brilliant. So it's
It doesn't
happiness.
mean we are not going to work hard for better, but it's about being satisfied where we are. We are going to work hard, but we are satisfied.
Wow. It is about satisfaction, Rashi rightly pointed. And one more person said it's about. Can I see the comment again? Sorry, it's gone. Okay. Anyone else would like to share? In the chat box, or you can unmute and share your thoughts. How does it feel to be happy? It's about satisfaction. It's about being comfortable in your present. When you're happy, you can achieve everything. One of the comments I read. Anything else? It's comforting. You're more in the now. You're more in the present. Yes. So is it any different from pleasure? What do you think?
Ma'am,
Yes, Aarti?
according to me, like happiness is an emotion, but we often confuse it with the pleasures we get that, okay, if I will get this, I will be happy. But that is not happiness. Uh, Happiness is something like, I am happy that I am alive, I'm working well, my body is perfectly fine, and I'm having internal peace. But due to certain pleasures that, oh, I have not achieved this, oh, my parents have said this to me, these all things affect us in a way which affects our mentality, and we often confuse it with the happiness.
That's extremely well elaborated, Aarti, and a very good point you mentioned that we tend to confuse it with joy or pleasure, which is more tentative in nature. Niharika says general sense of enjoyment is not, happiness per se. So you just had a party or you just met a friend, you feel happy about it in that moment. It's more about pleasure. It's about that, moment alone. It's not long lived. It's not a state of mind. It's not stable in nature. So I'll quickly share a clip with you. Just give me a sec. Let me know if you can see it. Can you guys view it? Manika?
Yes,
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Celebration of your blessings is happiness. The more and more I celebrate what I have in life, the manifestation of that is happiness. Man had called for a party and everybody had come and everybody were dancing and there was absolute excitement in the air and nobody knew for what this party was called. He called, so they all came and he looks the happiest person there. And he is enjoying, he is freaking out. So one person took a lot of hesitation and finally went, is there any purpose behind this party? Yeah, you didn't know that? Morning, my Mercedes Benz met with a very bad accident. And it's completely damaged. Everybody stopped dancing. What? Mercedes Benz met with an accident, you called for a party. He said, Nothing happened to the driver. I was driving. And the man paused for a moment and said, the Mercedes-Benz is gone, and with money I will buy 10 more Mercedes-Benz in my lifetime. But if my little finger has gone, nothing happened to the driver. And he told, friends, let's understand, whether it is a 60 rupee toy car or a 60 lakh Mercedes-Benz, what money can buy is called a toy. It's only a toy. And you should understand this. Rolls-Royce is a 4 crore toy. Give it rightful place. Then you will enjoy. Otherwise you will not enjoy. Some of these buggers, have you seen? They will not remove the plastic cover from the seat at all. But seat will get dirty. I'm saying I'll give you a better suggestion. You make a plastic cover, cover yourself. Go everywhere inside the plastic cover. It's a toy. The more and more you learn to celebrate what you have in life, it's called happiness. Happiness is celebration of blessings in life.
So we all agree with that definition? Yes?
10%, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
So yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Let's hear some noise. So yes, absolutely. So it is,
Ma'am.
it is about celebration, and it's also about what you can create out of whatever you have. Okay, so that's my own take on happiness. I think it's very important that you try to create something out of nothing. And that itself is a sense of happiness. Like Vanshika said a while back, that if she's able to do justice, if she's able to do what she set out for, that's also happiness in so many ways. It gives you a sense of well-being and satisfaction inside. And that is what is critical for us to focus on. And one of the quotes that I have on the screen, which all of you can read, every woman is like the sun of the family. You know, the sun that emits light, the sun that emits fragrance, the brightness. And that's how our households have always been. You know, if my mother is happy, the entire house is chirping. If she's unhappy, God forbid, everybody's got a lesson of their life that day. Yes or no? Yeah? If my mom's not happy, nobody else can be happy in the house. So all of us are like the sun, right? And you have to be emitting light and fragrance to people around you. That's why it said, you know, ladki chali gayi to ghar ki raunak chali jati hai. You know, betiyon se hi ghar hota hai. These are phrases that are not made in, thin air just like that, because it is out of experience that people say this. We are the charm of the family. We are the light in the family. With us, the festivals become more celebrative. So these things matter, you know, and we need to continue to do that as women. And beat the statistics of last decade or so, where women happiness is, you know, constantly nosediving. So you're the future of our country. As young girls, you should start to realize where your priority lies. What is it that we need to focus on? Another very important realization of happiness, you know, do you think it's possible you can be stressed out or being in a very hectic schedule, but still be very happy, still feel happy? Do you think that's possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give me an example. Anyone? Great to see you,
Uh,
Vanshika. Thank you for switching on your camera. Appreciate it.
Ma'am, when one is enjoying their work, even the hectic schedule makes them happy that they're doing justice to their work and they're utilizing their time and potential.
Anushka is not very happy with that. She says, I'm not happy when I'm stressed out. You know, how could I be happy when I'm stressed out? So, okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am,
Let's hear your thoughts.
Ma'am, actually, I think that working with a little less stress, like not pulling yourself to that, ki I have to do this and being stressed out about it, that makes me kind of stressed out. But instead, if I think that, okay, I'll have to do this and I'll do this, that is a sense of happiness.
Okay, good point. So let's take another example. Say it's my brother's marriage. Do you think I can be in a very hectic, in a very stressful situation, but yet be happy? Possible?
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Let's take another example of motherhood, where a woman goes through a lot and bears a child biologically. She's going through a lot, dealing with a lot, definitely stressed out, but you think she can still be happy through that experience?
Yes.
Possible. So another realization, since Anshika mentioned that, I'll highlight that stress is also three types. Okay, there's eustress, distress, and apathy. Apathy is the one that actually doesn't push you to do something. That level of stress is not good for us, which is actually less stress. There's a certain level of stress which is positive stress, which is eustress, which is making you productive, which is allowing you to push yourself, challenge yourself, and achieve more. That's the kind of stress that we all need today. Otherwise, we'll be complacent and lazy bums. Trust me on that. And the third one is the distress, which is actually burning you. It's affecting you mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's the kind of stress which takes you towards the trough. It's actually a downward slope. That is the stress we should cut ourselves from and check ourselves on. So what is important is to identify the kind of stress you're feeling and then kind of do the remedies for it so that you can backtrack from there. If it's going on the other side, you need to acknowledge it and do some positive activities. Yeah, good with that?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Okay, so a little story time. How many of you love stories? I do.
I do.
Good. I do too. So this is a story about a monk and his two disciples, right? What happened was the monk told the disciples to go and fetch a herb from a particular mountain, and which was at the hilltop. Okay. To begin with, he specified that you have to take a certain route, leave sharp at 7 a.m., stop by a pond and fetch crystal clear water from the pond in a bottle. Then go to the forest nearby and fetch a particular flower from there. And then move on to the mountain hilltop, fetch this herb, and be back before it's dark. This instruction was given to both the disciples. Now, this first disciple was a happy-go-lucky person, very creative and very bubbly he was. So when he set out on time, but his mind would wander him into, the nature, and he would sit by the pond and enjoy the water for a while, drink it as well. And then he fetched the water in the bottle, moved further into the forest, enjoyed the forest fragrance, sat under a tree, enjoyed a fruit, spent some time in that beauty, got the flower he was, instructed to fetch, and then moved on to the mountaintop. Towards the evening, he realized the sunset was beautiful, so he didn't want to miss out the mesmerizing sight of it. He sat there on the mountaintop and enjoyed that for a moment, and then started his journey back to the mentor, the monastery. And apparently, the second disciple did just exactly what was told to him without spending too much time enjoying the nature or the environment, and was back by 5-ish. Though the other disciple was slightly late, but he was also back before it was dark. So the task was done by both. Do you think their experiences were different?
Certainly, ma'am.
Yes, there were. And what do you think was the reason behind those different experiences?
The one was happy and the other was not.
Okay. But let's look at what kind of choices they were making. Do you think their choices were deciding the kind of experiences they were having?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's something very similar that happens in our life, don't you think so? Our choices decide our experiences. And what is our perception towards life? How do we want to see life? There was this image which was shared with me long time back, where there are two friends that are going on a hill station. And I don't know how many of you have taken that road journey, but one person apparently faces the mountainside, and the other person, mountainside, I mean actually the face of the mountain, you're almost at the edge of it. The other person tends to see the beauty, the actual valley or the sky and so on and so forth. So it actually also depends on which side you're sitting. There are times when I'm sitting on the opposite side, but I still choose to look this side so that I can enjoy that nature, right? So it's all about my orientation. Yes or no?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yes, absolutely. Let's hear yes, absolutely from everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely,
Absolutely,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Wow. So it does depend on my perception, what kind of choices I make, and those choices are determining my experiences. Good, bad, ugly. There's nothing right or wrong here. But this is a relationship that we all need to realize and internalize as soon as possible. That if I'm making certain choices, those are the kind of experiences I will get. If I want to change those experiences, I have to go back and change my choices, for which my perception has to evolve. So if my exposure is limited, if I met limited people, I have seen limited world, I've not gone out of my city, so on and so forth, these things build a perception. Yes or no? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So I belong to Lucknow. When I was in Lucknow, trust me, I didn't know the world at all. कोई मुझे बोलता था कि दिल्ली जाओ, दिल्ली में करियर बनेगा. I was dead scared. I didn't want to go to Delhi at all. I thought I'm happier being a small town girl with my family, being a very domesticated, bacha of the house, raised it among siblings. I didn't want to face that kind of harshness of the world. But trust me, the day I did, I never regretted. I knew exactly what it brought to me. Yeah. So that is something that all of us need to realize sooner or later. These are things that will define your career, right? You need to be extremely determined. You need to be convinced that this is something you want to learn for yourself. And there is a mark that you can create, provided you are ready to take on the challenges head on and never shy from it, right? And I never regret the kind of challenges I have faced. I've slept on a bench, overnight after my night shift in a BPO, because my landlady was so khadus, she would just not open the door. I have faced such miserable moments, where I would go back and tell myself, why am I even here? Why can't I just go back home? But it was a choice for me to make that time. I could have easily gone back to the comforts of my house. But when I decided that I had to go all out and make a career for myself, these things had to be a part and parcel of it. So I made that choice that I will face the challenges head on. And therefore, the career went on and I was able to learn and equip myself better, right? So it is always about choices. Please remember that. Okay. That also reminds me of a quick another clip which I'd like to share, since we spoke of pleasure. And just a second. This is the difference between pleasure and happiness. Can you see it? Is this visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Pleasure and happiness. A lot of people equate the two. Pleasure is short-lived, happiness is long-lived. Pleasure is visceral, happiness is ethereal. Pleasure is taking, happiness is giving. Pleasure can be achieved with substances, happiness cannot be achieved with substances. Pleasure is experienced alone, happiness is experienced in social groups. The extremes of pleasure all lead to addiction. Yet there's no such thing as being addicted to too much happiness. Pleasure is dopamine and happiness is serotonin. There's one thing that downregulates serotonin, dopamine. So the more pleasure you seek, the more unhappy you get. Las Vegas, Madison Avenue, Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and Washington, D.C. have very specifically and in a coordinated fashion confused and conflated happiness with the term pleasure so that you can buy happiness. And in the process, we have become most decidedly unhappy.
Yeah, a harsh reality. But do you think this is where we're getting confused? Perhaps this is where this could be one of the factors why we are becoming unhappy instead of being happy. Are we seeking more pleasure? Are we seeking more joy instead? So that's an understanding we all need to develop. Can you see my PPT back again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So any thoughts so far? Any thoughts at all? Anybody wants to share something? We started a little late. I hope I can get 10 minutes extra. Purva?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Great.
Ma'am, I would like to add here, like
Yes,
from
please.
now I felt that happiness lies in present, not in past, not in future. If we are living the moment in present and we are there in the situation, then I think we are happy.
ऐसे करो, हाथ ऊपर करो अपूर्व, और पीछे करो, ऐसे बोलो शाबाश. You got it right. It's all about present. And that's why I think in today's world, we're talking about a concept called mindfulness. So apparently, I'm a qualified, certified mindfulness coach as well. And this is something that we've been hovering over of late, that let's realize the worth of the present that you're living. A lot of times we're in the present, but our mind is wandering somewhere else, perhaps in an assignment, perhaps in some closure that we have to do with the professor, perhaps with some other submission, perhaps with the exams that are upcoming, perhaps with something that my parents told me to complete, or with some marriage that I have to attend, so on and so forth. So my mind can go anywhere. Like I said, our mind is like that floating balloon, in the wind, and we have no control. Most of the times, the circumstances decide which direction I'm going. Okay, and back in our 70s, we didn't have a choice. Whatever my sibling was doing, I started doing the same course. And because there was MBA in the market, I had to do MBA then. So we weren't so gifted, like the era that you guys are born in and the kind of technology you're witnessing. It's empowering in itself. So you're fully equipped with information, with resources, with experts in the market. You can reach out for more and more knowledge. This is something that was really impossible at our times. We had to hunt for encyclopedias and read through it, and that was the only best resource we had. So the fact of the matter is that it's all in our head, and we have to start prioritizing certain things. And like you rightly said, Apurva, there's no stopping it. Once this is something to do with our present, and you need to be in that moment and make the most of that, and do what you can instead of thinking about what you can't. So there's a circle of influence and control, and there's a circle which is outside your control and influence. So if we start hovering on all the aspects that are outside your circle of control, then you get frustrated and unhappy very often. So those are aspects for you to check for yourselves. Few more sources of unhappiness, and I'm sure all of you will agree with this. We have a lot of expectations from our own self. We have expectations, others' expectations that are on us, that we are grappling with. Then our own lack of self-love or self-belief or confidence, like you say, and the disease of perfectionism. We want to do everything to the T and get a 10 on 10 and everything. Yes or no? Yeah? Guilty? Say we're guilty. Yeah, I'm guilty. Okay.
I am, ma'am.
Yeah. So many roles that we perform. So what is your self-narrative? There are times when we see ourselves from this bigger lens, that there are so many roles. Perhaps the other roles like a daughter-in-law and wife you may do later on. But right now you're a friend, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're a student or a colleague to someone. What is your narration to yourself? Are you viewing yourself only as a student? Are you viewing yourself only as a daughter, or are you viewing yourself from this bigger lens, that you have these multiple roles that you're performing and all of that completes your story? So it's like you're the protagonist of your movie and you're writing this beautiful story, yeah, of being Apurva, being Mantrika, being Rajshri, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your self narration? That's what matters. I want you to think for a moment, any, say, two roles out of the current roles that you are in, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend, or as a student. How much do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your accomplishment, or how happy you are about yourself as a daughter, how happy you are about yourself as a sister, as a friend? Just rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. And let's hear a couple of scores.
As a daughter, I am at 8.
Okay, great. 8, Anushka says, wonderful. 7 and 8, 6, okay.
Ma'am, as a daughter or a sister, I think I'll be 6 or 7, especially these days. As a student, I'm 8, ma'am, because I'm towards my laptop like most of the time than towards my family.
I love that modesty, Apurva. Okay. So, nonetheless, we're all striving for a 10. Yes or no? We're all striving for a 10. Yeah. We all want a perfect score. And that's the disease that I'm talking about. That we never get enough of it. And that's the problem. You need to go back with this mantra today that 8 is your new 10. Okay, there are times when my mother or my in-laws talk about certain things and I'm like, आपके ज़माने में और था, हमारे ज़माने में कुछ और है. Right? That same rule applies to all of you here today. Your measure of your success on any one of those parameters, actually a 8 is a perfect score. And you need to tell yourself day in and day out, 8 is the new 10. Can you say that with me?
8 is the new 10.
8 is the new 10.
8 is the new 10.
Perfect. हमारे ज़माने में अलग है. Yeah, that's the fact.
Actually, I was about to say this. As we cannot make everyone happy at the same point of time, and
Yes.
every time we cannot fulfill everyone's expectations.
Absolutely, bang on. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to call ourselves Lakshmi, and we're going to tell ourselves, Lakshmi, relax.
Amal
Okay,
as
everyone,
well.
please do this with me. Okay, everyone, you can keep yourselves on mute, but repeat after me. Say, Lakshmi. You can take your name if you want, and say, deep breathe. Breathe out through your mouth, and say, relax. We're going to do it 2 more times. Lakshmi. Relax. Yeah. One more time. Lakshmi. I tell myself, Shikha. Relax. Breathing out through your mouth is very important. It's proven scientifically to secrete positive, happy hormones. So please practice this kind of breathing. If you can do it 10 times during the day, it's actually going to help you unwind. Do it one more time, everyone. Deep breathe. Pick your name. Relax. Yeah? You feel better?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? You feel better? Wow. Good. I suggest please do this deep breathing and exercise for yourself. We'll jump into a quick activity. I need all of you to pull out the papers that I requested you to carry with you. Do you have A4 sheet papers with you? A big page you need, something like that. Okay. And fold it on the top slightly like this. Can you all see my paper? Okay, just fold it slightly on the top. And then fold it on the bottom like this. Just this much, okay? Just 1/10 of it, actually. The top part. And then the bottom similarly. And I then need you to tear it from the sides only. Only from the sides. Just watch me. Turn it only this much, not the full side. And you tear it from the other side also. Just a little bit. Just a very little bit. Towards the edges, towards the end. You see that? Do the same thing at the bottom. The folded part, just tear it from the edges. Slightly towards the inside. And this part also. That's about it. Then I need you to fold the middle part into something like this. So you'll see an eye getting formed. Visible? You just
Yes,
fold
ma'am.
the middle part. Okay, so we'll call this section A, the top part, section B, the middle part, the center part of eye, and then a bottom part. You see an eye? Can I see some of the samples on the screen? Let's see, Apurva. Okay. Yeah, okay. I can figure that out. Monica, Rajshri, where are the others? Okay, how about Shanuka, other girls? Shreya, Ankita, okay. You've got this, all of you? Good to go to the next stage? I need you to write your basics here on the top part, okay? Basics, I mean your name, your age, perhaps your height, and maybe one odd hobby you can write here. Anyone, any doubts, feel free to ask. On the top A section, we will write our name, age, height, and hobbies. Okay, at the center part, section B, I need you to write, just follow the instructions, then you can take your time. Section B, we will write something which is really known to us, maybe not known to the others, something that we're really proud of about myself. That you need to write only 5 words, maybe, not sentences, and write it in a bold way so that it's legible to anyone when you show it on the screen. Try to use your sketch pens to write 4 to 5 such qualities in the center, something that you're really proud of. 1 word each. Yeah? And at the bottom, section C, you need to write your weaknesses. Something that you're not proud of. Something that you try to hide from people. Not share, not talk about it. Yeah? Clear? Any doubts on the instructions? सब क्लियर है?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
clear है. Okay. Okay. So let's take a minute. Please write it and then we'll discuss. सच सच लिखना, झूठ मूठ नहीं लिखना, डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर्स नहीं लिखना. Okay, once you've done it, let's hear you from you so that we get to know that you've done it. Do unmute and say yoo-hoo.
I'm done.
Yoo-hoo. Good. Let's hear yoo-hoo. कोई चीटिंग नहीं करेगा, डोंट वरी. इतना छुपा के लिखने की क्या बात है? एग्जाम देने की बुरी आदत है ना हम लोग को. Okay. Done, everyone? I now need you to show just your section C. The weaknesses. Can we all hold it up? closer to the screen. Something you're not proud of, your weaknesses? And would anyone like to share? Ah, Rajshri, good. I can see. Okay, good. Okay, come on, everyone. Let's hear a couple of you share your section C with all the others. Kaun hai brave heart? Good. Let's hear some of you.
I do not trust. Yes, I do not trust people's. Basically,
Okay.
never.
Okay.
That is my weakness. And I am a little angry person, but that is not visible to others.
Ah, all right. Thank you. You're a brave heart for sure, Vanshika, for sharing that. Great. Who else would like to share? Let's hear some more section C inputs of things that you're not very proud of, something you hide, something that people don't know generally.
And I'm bad at putting up with people.
Okay.
And at times I'm too practical when people are too emotional.
Aha, that's a nice one. Too practical. Okay.
Ma'am, I think I'm way too straightforward and sometimes hurt people emotions. So,
Okay. Too straightforward. Okay.
Ma'am, I overthink a lot on something which I do not have to, and I realize it later.
Okay. So Anushka says I overthink. Good. Okay. What else?
Mom, I'm really insensitive sometimes.
Tend to be insensitive. Vipasha. Okay. Thank you. Who else?
Ma'am, I'm passionate about helping the needy people, and I'm very emotional person.
ये कौन सी weakness हुई जी?
No, ma'am, I'm thinking like I want to help everyone.
हाँ, ये तो डिप्लोमेटिक वाला हो गया जो हम इंटरव्यू में बोलते हैं.
Yes, ma'am. And weakness is emotional person.
You are emotional. Okay, very sensitive. All right. Thank you, Nancy. और कौन बताएगा? Brave hearts, come on, come forward. You're all women leadership cell students, right? Come on. I want more leaders to come forward. Show your faces. Please share.
Over trusting.
Over trusting. Okay, somebody finds trusting difficult and somebody's over trusting. Okay, good. So one or more responses, please.
Ma'am, I have a tendency to kind of think about something without even trying it. Like, what if I do this? I think I should just believe on experiencing that thing myself instead of just asking other people to share their views, because my experience would only help me at last. So yeah, that
So
is
you
one
kind
thing I
of
want to improve.
you think that is something that leads you to hasty implementation? Is that the weakness you're trying to highlight?
Yes, ma'am. Like in everything, it is like, what if? Like without trying, I just, conclude.
All right. Okay. So is this something that will make you a little happier if I tell you that these are some get angry, confused, shy, maybe too decisive, too practical is another one that you guys shared. Too lazy, कुछ नहीं करना चाहते हैं weekend पे, कोई कुछ ना बोले. Feeling anxious sometimes. We tend to feel or overthink, like somebody said. Bad at organizing, managing time, sensitivity, over practicality, somebody said. Yeah. These are some very common negative or let's say weak points that people have. And I think a lot of you shared some of these also. And while I've not heard the others, I'm guessing some of you do have some of these common points. Yes or no? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So would it make you feel better if I tell you that there was a survey conducted across 45 countries, and we realized that these are some very common negative traits or weaknesses across the board? Does it make you feel better? Yes?
No, ma'am, because after all, it's us who is going through all this, and it's not pleasant.
It's not pleasing, but does it make you feel less ashamed of your weakness? If
Yeah,
it's something that,
with us.
yeah, if it's something that the other person is also dealing with, do you think you feel better?
We feel less awkward.
Yeah, less awkward.
Wow, great. I'm glad you said that because, this is again another very scientifically proven factor that most of us find it difficult once we're in leadership positions. We find it very, very difficult to open up with people around us. And because we shy away from our vulnerabilities, we don't tend to build trust relationships easily. Yeah. One of the biggest cripples of organizations, and because I'm a culture strategist too, I can tell you upfront, is the lack of trust relationships between managers and subordinates. Yeah. So that's one big takeaway for all of you, that if you become somebody who can be happy and take pride in your vulnerabilities and seek help wherever required, it will allow you to become a far better leader. Yeah. And that's something that will be your strength and not your weakness, like Jacinda Ardern says, that I rebel against people who think that sensitivities are emotional. If you're an emotional person, it's a weakness. So it can actually turn out to be a big strength for you if you know how to channelize it. Yeah. So that's one thought for you to take back with you. And I want you to also look at your I now and perhaps think of yourself along with that and wonder if this is the I that describes you well. Is this something that is giving you a complete picture about who you are, or is there more to you? Do you think this is the only thing that tells me who you are as a person, or there's more to you? Can you share your thoughts in the chat box? Or you can say it. You can unmute yourself. Is there more to you?
Ma'am, obviously there is more to us because we cannot stay constant at every point of time.
True, very true. And just like, there's this example that you can't judge a painter through one painting because that's not just the masterpiece that he's made, and perhaps the masterpiece is yet to happen. It's the same thing with our lives. Okay, we tend to judge ourselves too early. We tend to typecast ourselves in our own self-narration into, compartments and beliefs and norms like that. And that can end up limiting you to a great extent. So if you change your self-narration to the quote that you see on the slide right now, everybody repeat this for yourself. I am beyond and limitless. Can you say that loud, please?
I am beyond and limitless.
And open your arms wide like that.
Beyond and limitless.
Open your arms wide like this, just the way you see it on the screen. Say, I am beyond and limitless. Can you all do that? Yes. Repeat after me. I am beyond and limitless. Okay? Do that to yourself at least 2-3 times during the day. Trust me, the positive reinforcements will only take you to the next level of your life. It's very, very important because we get so, engulfed with negativities and what people have to say about the COVID time. There are deaths in family. There are so many other hurdles happening. Future looks bleak. Career is unclear. People are losing jobs in the market. Economy is not doing brilliant right now. So there could be so many doubts in your head. But as long as you're able to reinforce this message to yourself, nothing will stop you from achieving things in life. And you will be able to turn situations around through your own energies, right? So it's all about these positive energies and how you narrate, things to yourself. So we call it a tweak in your self-narration. And you need to do this every day to yourself. I am beyond and limitless. And 8 is your new 10. Yeah, please remember these mantras for yourself. Okay, that brings me towards the last 5-10 minutes. I think we'll take just 10 more minutes. What is it that you're thinking about day in and day out? Okay, that is something that's going to decide what direction your life is taking. So are you worrying too much? Are you thinking about security in your life? Are you thinking about the kind of money you can make tomorrow? Are you thinking about setbacks or problems you may have faced recently back home maybe, or in the college? So what is it that you're paying attention on? What is it that you're investing your time on? That is going to decide which plant grows in your life. It's like you water it every day. आपके garden में 4-5 लगे हैं plants. The plants that you water every day are the ones that grow. Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
जिसको आपने पानी नहीं दिया उसका क्या होगा? What will happen to the plant that you don't water?
They'll wilt away.
Yeah, it will wilt away. So it is important that we start investing our time in our own happiness and take control of things, right? Think of your day-to-day routine and take a minute to jot down some things that you do on a regular basis. Can you quickly write it down? Just 5 to 10 things that you do on a regular basis, on a day-to-day basis. Quickly write down.
Ma'am, would you please repeat what we have to note?
Just write down things that you tend to do on a day-to-day basis. Something that you have to do perhaps because of your responsibilities, some duties that you fulfill, your regular chores or a routine, so to say. Can you write down 5 to 10 such things or tasks? Look at the list and ask yourself, how many of these are should do's for you, must do's for you, something that somebody's told you, ये तो करना ही है, मंदिर जाना ही है, मत्था टेकना ही है, व्रत रखना ही है, you know, whatever. So there are certain things that we tend to get as instructions or norms in the family or something which is, you know, mandate in the family, so to say, or in the house or in the college. Those are the must do's or the should do's. And there are things that we love doing, something that you feel for, something that you're passionate about. How many of those things are you doing on a regular basis? Can you look at your list one more time? Can you tell me the ratio of things you love and you're passionate about vis-a-vis what you must and should do on a regular basis? I must do my homework. You know, if I don't do it, basic hygiene. Yeah? I have to do my assignments. I have to do my subject project submissions and stuff. So can you tell me the ratio of what you're passionate about vis-a-vis what you have to and must do? Let's.
Ma'am, my proportions
It's
are
5:4.
disoriented, I guess.
Sorry, Anushka?
Ma'am, my proportions, I guess, are a bit disoriented because I feel that what things I like doing, I do it less often than what things are compulsions for me.
Thank you, Anushka, for sharing that. Trust me, that's a reality for most of us. So we tend to go into the worry or the you know, the future aspect of it. ये तो कल के लिए करना है, you know, or ये deadline है, I must meet this. So our energies go into that direction more than what we enjoy or what we are you know, passionate about. Something that holds bigger meaning for me. So the ratio generally is 70:30. You know. 70 on what we don't like, what we must do, what are the shoulds for us, and 30 for what we you know, love or we are passionate about. So that's a common finding. That is something that you need to take back with you, that you need to start trying to equalize these aspects for yourself and find more time to read or do things that will add meaning to you, to your future, right? See if you can do even one little effort every day, and that will count. Right? Try to create a more positive, we call it the passion or the happiness circle for yourself, and that will give you more positive energies on a regular basis, right? So I try to ensure I squeeze out time for my exercising, or I squeeze out time for my praying and chanting, and those are things that add more positive vibes on a regular basis for me. Yeah. Last, one more example for you to take back is, you know, if there is a cup which is full of coffee and somebody pushes you, what will happen? That coffee will spill, right? Do you think water can spill out of it? Not possible.
No, ma'am.
Right? Now, this is what happens in our life. Yeah, this is what happens in our life. Sometimes, you know, we tend to blame others too much for making me angry. But if I had no anger in me, nothing would spill, right? So what is it that's in your cup matters a lot. Are you full of gratitude? Are you full of kindness, compassion, love? You will spill that, even if you're hit by people around you. if there's something that is adverse in your surrounding. But if you're full of fear, anger, anxiety, and stress, and anything untoward happens in your environment, that's what you're going to spill. So our reactions also define the subsequent, chain of events that happen in our life. And that is another thing that we need to start taking, charge of. So one is our choices matter for sure. They change our experiences. The other is the kind of responses we choose in situations decides our, trail of sequence of events or circumstances that you face thereafter. So any thoughts on that? Anyone wants to add something? Yeah, you agree? Say absolutely.
I agree with all of it, ma'am.
Yeah, great. So can we all become doctors of happiness? Yeah, believe in your unlimited potential because you're limitless, and you need to start spreading word of happiness and wisdom to people around you. Being youngers of the society, you can carve the future of the corporate world tomorrow. So it depends on what kind of mindset you are coming with into leadership positions. One technique I can give you as a quick trick is to work more on your willpower, because that can play over your mind. Okay, like somebody said, if I've set myself even small little goals, and I tend to do it every day, it helps to build a stronger muscle. Okay, so train yourself for little things, like I will not read the billboard when I'm on the road. Something like I will ensure that I drink 3 complete bottles of water every day. Small things. Even if you do it on a regular basis, 2 or 3 such things, it tends to build that will muscle, and which allows you to overpower your mind, because your mind tricks you. Remember, mind will always work on patterns, and it also tricks you because of your own self narration. नहीं यार, मैं उस गेम में फेल हो गई थी, अब मैं ना अच्छा कैप्टन नहीं बन सकती. So I start building this belief inside, and that belief will always overpower my decisions. If I have to break it, then I have to build a stronger willpower. That no, if I set a target for myself, I can achieve it. So start small, play this technique with yourself, and see how it allows you to groom your personality and makes you better leader as a woman. Last but not the least, another trick and a technique for you is to build more happy circle, your friends, people you stick around with. That matters a lot, guys. And trust me, I have allowed myself to inculcate certain habits that make me happier every day. So if I'm starting my day with some happy quotes, I'm talking to some happy people around me, I'm ensuring that I read good literature which is positive in nature, which inculcates values around me. Those are habits that allow you to empower yourself and feel more in control. So these are called happy habits. Invest in your happiness, build happy habits, and build happy circles for yourself. The more you check the kind of people you're sticking around with, the better it is, because there are times when this negative environment and negative people, and that we call it the garbage bag, that they move around with a lot of dirt inside their mind and heart. So they tend to do. Sorry. Some internet thing, I guess. You can also hear the echo.
Yes, ma'am.
So time for you to ask questions. If there's any thought. I know you want to put. Should I go on mute? Yeah, better. Thank God. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, any questions? Let's hear your thoughts, your suggestions. Somebody's network, I guess. So I think Professor B.S. Rathore, sir, can you put yourself on mute? I think it's coming from the network. Yeah, it's coming from their network. Okay. Was he trying to say something? I'm sorry if you were trying to add something, sir.
No, nothing to add. Just I was also realizing there is some little bit disturbances. Could be because of my mobile phone is nearby. Okay.
Yes, better.
Now I think it's better. I put
Yes.
my mobile phone away.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Also, there are issues related to one question I may ask you,
Please.
that when we talk about happiness, and we were talking about that happiness leads to the a better leadership. You cited one example also, not an example. Initially, one slide I have seen, the happy plus power leads to the leader. That's correct. But now big question is how to become happy. Mainly, it has been observed that happiness is a subjective term. So, how to bring that a subjective term into a objective term? Certain activities you did mention that there are internal and external forces. So, I feel always that internal forces has more role regarding happiness. So now to how to increase the internal sources so that we continue to remain happy and become a true leader. Like
Great
you, I
question.
may say.
Thank you. That's a brilliant question you've asked. Trust me, I think most of the people are struggling with that question, how to become happier or how to sustain it, because there are times when we experience it, but we're not able to sustain that feeling. And like you rightly said, it's more internal than external. So it's about practicing it. Like any other regime, if you want to lose weight, you have to be disciplined. If you are committing yourself to be more happy, you need to be committed to it. You need to practice it day in and day out. So some of the techniques, because of shortage of time, I've shared few tips here. I think the narration is important, what you tell yourself every day, and some happy habits like reading good literature, meeting up or interacting with happier people, people who are more experienced, people who can bring more knowledge to you, people who can, open up your perspectives, because perspectives decide your choices, and the ability to manifest a stronger willpower. Because I have seen for myself, there are so many aspects. At the age of 28, 29, I think I committed myself to get a house for myself. And I wanted that house to be registered in my name. And I was able to achieve that. At the age of 30, I decided to give a car to my dad and diamond jewelry to my mother. So just at the start of my career, I knew I was in that age group. I was earning barely minimum, maybe 8,000 bucks. But because I had committed to that, and thanks to all the loan and the services we get on credit card and EMI service, I was able to do that as well. But what was important was that my willpower became stronger with every such, challenge or a milestone I set for myself. So what was important was to continue that journey. If I had done it once or twice, I wouldn't have been able to sustain. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Good, ma'am. Good. Second issue is my experience teaching to the girls. I feel that the particularly students, they are finding difficulty to appreciate themselves. Normally, in rough language, I may say they don't love themselves.
I'm not
So what shall we
surprised that you
do?
said that.
So what shall we do so that they love themselves and they appreciate themselves?
Yeah, trust me, that's a global issue, Professor. And we find a lot of women today trying to do so much for the others, but very little for themselves. And that is the reason, perhaps, that over the last decade or so, our happiness index is going down. So I think the start point is self-love for sure. And that can happen when we change our self-narration. Treat yourself as somebody important, someone you need to take care of, and you're responsible to help yourself before you help someone else. It's like you're in the aircraft and the lady tells you to wear the oxygen mask before you put the oxygen mask on someone else, right? So we ought to be in that happy state with that positive mentality and well-being state to be able to help people around us. Only then we can emit and exude that energy and happiness. So I think the mantra again would be to practice it and to check yourself and to have friends or colleagues who can help you in that journey to correct yourself, because we tend to overlook our own needs very often. We've seen our mothers do that, Professor. We've seen our grandparents do that, our grandmothers do that. It's a patriarchal society, and women end up getting too caught up with that, mindset, I guess. Nothing right or wrong about it, but I think to a great extent, we need to start realizing self-love is not selfish. Self-love is more about being responsible. You are responsible towards yourself before you're responsible for someone else.
Great, great.
Thank you.
So,
any other questions from the students? Would anyone want to ask anything? I think we can. I realized a few things more today, ma'am, and made me feel different ways about things. Wow. Okay. Please feel free to share your experience through the day today with us, with this discussion on anybody. Please share your thoughts in the chat box, or you can unmute and share your experience.
Ma'am, it's said that what we feed, that makes our skin glow. Like if we eat good, our skin will glow. If we don't eat good, it won't shine that much. So what happens here is that what I can conclude from your speech is that eat that stuff, like engulf your mind with all those stuff that will make you glow.
Mentally, so good.
Yes.
Great to hear that, Rajshri. That's a takeaway for you. Let's hear the other learnings from the members here.
And there was one more thing, like Sir shared, that we are not happy with ourselves. But be it man or woman, everyone, like I don't think anyone in the society is happy with themselves. But it happens that we are a women university, so whenever Sir conducts a survey, we are a part of it. And thereby it becomes that women are not happy with themselves.
Good point. Yes, I will definitely go for practicing self-love. Thank you so much. Wow, Bipasha, we are builders of our own destiny. It's up to us whether we choose to be happy or sad. Professor Rathore, request you to please put yourself on mute because of the static noise. I guess it's coming every now and then.
Okay.
Sorry, yeah. Anyone else would like to share quickly? Please feel free to share your thoughts, your takeaways from today's session. Anything you want to add?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Ma'am, you said that you didn't want to leave your home and go for a city and build a career, and then you went out and you built a career to yourself. What changed your state of mind?
What changed my state of mind? I think it's more about our upbringing, Rajshri, and I honestly feel I'm indebted to my parents for raising us in a very positive way and giving us good education. So I've studied in Reto Convent, dealt with a lot of positive and good people around me. All the sisters were very kind and compassionate. And after seeing such good teachers in your life, there's this one thought that will always occur to you, because you've seen your mother as a confident woman, you've seen some, good achievers as teachers around you. You would always have that thought at the back of your mind that, can't I be one of them? Don't I want to achieve something for myself? I have always realized that, I think as a teenager also, that there was more to life. And therefore, I didn't want to stop myself because of some obstacles. I think that's what changed my mind. It's more to do with the upbringing and the education, so to say, and the parenting that was done. Vanshika says, ma'am, what makes you go for career and happiness? The best thing about it is I can be happy all the time. So Vanshika, my answer to you is happiness makes me happy. And I think there can be nothing better than that to stick with. And if I'm committed on that journey, I will ensure that I'm able to uplift myself and uplift my family, friends, and colleagues too. So it's the best thing to do today. I think the world needs more of it. Any other takeaways, your learning from today, what you like the most? Let's hear one or two more comments before we wrap up. What is it that you liked? What is it that you're taking back with you today? I hope you've all had a good time. Is it possible to stay? Is it possible to stay happy every time? No, sweetheart, Bhumika, I wish we could be happy all the time, like every second of our life. But because we are a part of this environment, in fact, I'll share another analogy with you. It's of the lotus flower. Okay, the lotus flower blooms in muddy water. Yes or no? So that muddy water is actually acting as a catalyst, and it allows you to flourish and prosper and grow fully. That's how adversities and challenges are in our life, you know. So while we may be amidst challenges and problems, the result is what matters. That are we blossoming? Are we growing out of it? Are we developing new skills? Are we improving ourselves? And that's the journey of happiness, I guess. Creating something out of whatever you have and celebrating, life, so to say. So because you're alive during this COVID era, and because we're laughing and because we're talking together, we're connecting, that's the beauty of life, you know, and that's a reason enough for us to be happy today. So are we all happy today? Let me ask that closing question to you. Are we all happy?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. Good. Good to hear that. It was wonderful talking to all of you. And I wish you guys a lot of good luck. Please stay chirpy, stay happy, stay your true self. And thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So
Thank
I
you,
may
ma'am.
conclude in this way that the happiness brings cheerfulness. Cheerful faces create cheerful environment, and cheerful environment, a person who creates cheerful environment becomes a good leader.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
It was a pleasure.
Ma'am, you succinctly elaborated the happiness and connected with the leadership. That's good. And also, to an extent, what I liked is what taking away that already I shared with you, that the celebration. That is the Mercedes-Benz example. If you celebrate, I think some network issue. So celebration again important role, which the question which I did ask and got the answer, that yes, if you celebrate your sorrows even, that internally brings makes an individual happy, and that also leads to the believing in self and appreciating self. That is my taking away from your talk today.
Thank you.
It's a nice talking to you, ma'am, and we expect your blessing will continue to our students.
My pleasure, sir. It'll be my honor if I can contribute and continue to contribute for all these bright girls out there. And trust me, I want all of you to do this together. हाथ ऐसे करो, जोर की झप्पी मारो, बोलो मैं अपनी खुद की फेवरेट रोज करना है ये शीशे के सामने खड़े होके early morning when you brush your teeth, please do this. मैं अपनी खुद की फेवरेट. You know, we've all heard geeks say that. Please say that to yourself every day. And thank you so very much. It was wonderful talking to all of you.
We, the
Thank you so much.
coordinators, me and Manika, coordinators of Women Leadership Cell, thank you. Like, you gave us, motivated us, and also energized us with your words, and also have helped us knowing ki, you know, it's not only that we have to work, it's happiness is most important, and leaders what I took away is leaders are the one who manage to balance between happiness and what they have to do. This was we would love to have many sessions with you, ma'am, and this was just a beginning, I must say, ma'am. I would like to thank you on behalf of School of Business, Modi University, our Dean Sir, Rathor Sir, and every student. I mean, students were enjoying it. I could feel that vibe. Everyone was happiness was there in this session, though it was virtual, but I could feel that even students were interacting and everything, ma'am. It was just a fantastic session. Looking forward for another session, ma'am.
It's amazing to hear that, and it's an absolute pleasure once again. Thank you so much, Modi University. Thank you so much, Professor Rathor, Professor and the Dean, and thank you so much to all the students here. Thank you so much. Love to all of you. Ciao.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.